I have asked you to do a pre-assessment and a post-assessment as part of your TPA project. I've asked you to do a pre-assessment to find out what the students know before your unit is taught, and then I've asked you to come up with a post-assessment that you could give at the end of your unit to see what the students have learned. You'll notice that I have the word interview here in front of the pre-assessment. I would like you to make up a mock interview that you could use when you teach the unit to measure student prior knowledge. I'm fine with the post-assessment being more of the traditional paper and pencil format. That would be okay with me, because a lot of times in schools that will be how the assessment is measured. So let's jump to what this interview is going to look like. If you take a look here, you'll see that I have an example, which you'll find on the D2L shell, and it's related to the idea of finding perimeter of a rectangle. So this may be something I might do at the beginning of the unit. I might have several of these across the board. If you're going to be teaching, for instance, measurement, this might be one lesson out of a whole group of them. This lesson, of course, would be around finding a perimeter and the use of measure to do that. It's up to you, but what I would like to see is an example of the questions you would use with a student if you wanted to find out what they know about the topic. So let's take a look at what's being assessed here. First of all, the person who wrote this has identified what skill they think that the student needs, and also a concept understanding. So I want you to think about what is it that I would like to measure related to skill and concept. The next thing that the person has done is come up with an interview problem. So here you can see that a story problem or a real life example is given. And this teacher is going to have the student take a look at the picture that he or she is presenting, and then they're going to have the student answer these two questions. Can you label the picture for me? Can you tell me what the measures of the other sides are, or do we not have enough information? So you'll see that you'll have to think ahead. Not only do I want the students to show me what they know, but I wonder, I'm going to anticipate what they don't know, and I want to make sure that I ask a question about that one as well. So you see, this one's really straightforward. Can you label the picture for me? And then this one digs a little bit deeper. Can you tell me what the measures of the other sides are, or do we not have enough information? So the student may take a look at that and say to you, no, there's not enough information there, which would then allow you to say, what makes you say that? And then you could hear how the student describes their knowledge about perimeters. Here's the second thing that this teacher is going to do to measure this particular skill and concept. Show a collection of rectangles of different shapes, and then ask the student to describe the characteristics of a rectangle. Okay? And then take a look at the questions that are asked here. Again, you'll see that they go beyond asking the student things like, is a square a rectangle, or that type of thing. They really are much more open-ended questions. I love the what can you tell me about rectangles. That is a really good one to ask students no matter what topic you're choosing. All right, and then you also have on this sample sheet, if you're doing something that's more related to finding formulas or calculations, you'll notice that the proverbial how did you solve this, we've been talking a lot about this, is asked. And then this is where we dig a little bit deeper. If the student showed it with a standard algorithm, here's where we come into the, can you do it another way? Can you do it in your head? These last two questions get at more of their concept understanding, because if they were to answer no to these, you'll know that their knowledge is relatively fragile and that they know how to do the procedure, but they don't necessarily know why they're doing the procedure the way they are. So that's what I'd like you to do. I would like you to come up with an interview sheet. Use this one as a guide that will get at what the students know. It's a sheet that you can use to interview to find out what the prior knowledge of the student is.